Hello friends. In this video you will be able to see how to install Windows 11 without USB if you only have Ubuntu Linux on your disk. The video is from the series How to Install Windows 11 without USB Switch from Linux, so if you are interested in another distribution, look in the video description. I wish you a pleasant viewing. I have installed Ubuntu with the option to use the entire disk. The first thing we will do here is to download the Windows 11 ISO file from the official Microsoft website. On the Microsoft download page, search for and download the disk image ISO file. While we wait for the Windows ISO file to finish downloading, we will also download another tool that we will need, and that is Puppy Linux. Search for Puppy Linux on the web and download its latest version. From the Puppy Linux page on SourceForge, select and download the appropriate ISO file for your system. While we wait for the Windows and Puppy Linux to finish downloading, we will also download another tool that we will need, and that is Grub.fm. In the search results for Grub.fm, open the GitHub page for a1ev/grub2 file manager. On this page, search for the latest release and download the version in your preferred language. In general, the language does not matter much because we will use Grub.fm to boot the Windows installation. Once the downloads are complete, we will continue with the next step. In this step we will install the Grub file manager and the refined boot manager on the EFI partition. We will use the refined boot manager to avoid creating boot entries because this is a more complicated process and can be different for different systems, so I decided to use refined because it is universal. Now open a terminal and a file manager window as administrator. To open your EFI as an administrator, in the file's address bar, type admin, // then press enter. Enter your password and in the next window open the boot folder. Now open the EFI folder and in the next window you will see another EFI folder that you need to open. The next step is to install the refined boot manager. We will do this using the terminal because it is the most reliable way. In the terminal, type sudo apt install refined. Press enter and then enter your password. Now, press enter again. Now the refined files are installed, but to see them you need to refresh the EFI folder. We still have a little work to do with the terminal and we need to enter the command, sudo refind-install. This command sets refind to boot by default, so when we restart the computer it will boot directly. We are done with the terminal, so you can close it. The next step is to install Grub.fm on the EFI partition. To do this, unzip the downloaded Grub.fm file and create a new folder in your EFI. Name the folder Grub.fm. From the extracted folder, I will copy the file grub.fmx64.fe and then place it in the Grub.fm folder. Wait for the copying to complete and proceed to the next step. Remember to back up your important files because they will be deleted in the next steps. When you are done, close the open windows and restart the computer. In the next steps, we will free up space for the Windows installation files. We will do this using Puppy Linux because Ubuntu Linux is installed by default on an ext4 file system and cannot be resized after mounting. How to recognize which icon is for the boot entry of the grub file manager. Under each icon is listed the file that is launched, so you should launch grubfmx64.fe, so you have to launch it. When the grub file manager loads, select the Ubuntu root partition and navigate to the folder with the downloaded Puppy Linux. Once you find the Puppy Linux ISO file, select it and boot it. Now select the first option, Boot ISO Loopback Config. Here, select the option to copy SFS files to RAM and wait for Puppy Linux to boot. When Puppy Linux starts, there is no need to configure it, so close the windows and move on. Right-click on the desktop and open Gparted. It is located in System Applications. As I said, what we need to do here is free up space on the Ubuntu root partition. It is important here to free up space on the right side of the partition, which is actually the end of the disk. This is important because at the end of the video we will delete this partition and add it to the Windows partition. You need to allocate about 10 to 11,000 megabytes, which is about 10 gigabytes. Now need to create a new partition. Right-click on the resulting unrecognized space and select New. In this window, first select the new partition, which will be with the exFAT file system. It is very important to label the partition. Call it whatever you want, but remember it so that you can recognize it later. I chose the label name win_install. When you are done, do not forget to apply the changes and then you can close the Gparted. In the next step, we will copy the Windows installation files to the new partition we created. For this, we will use the Puppy Linux file manager. For my convenience, I will open two file manager windows. In one window, open the partition you created, in my case it is win_install, and in the second window, open the Ubuntu download folder where the Windows ISO file is located. Once you are done, click on the Windows ISO file and it will be mounted. Now copy all the installation files from here and paste them into the new partition you created. The copying will take some time, because about 8 gigabytes will be copied. When the copying is finished, close the open windows and restart your computer. Here again, it is the time to remind you to back up all important files from Ubuntu Linux, and if you have done so, we can continue. When the computer restarts, it will load the refined boot manager again. Here, start the grub file manager again. When the grub file manager loads, press the F3 key to see all the UEFI boot entries on your computer. Now select and boot the UEFI boot entry located on the partition where you copied the Windows 11 installation files and wait for it to load. The first steps of the installation process are to select the installation language, the keyboard you will use, and its layout. On the next window, you must accept that Windows will be installed on your computer, and here you can also switch to the old version of the Windows installer. Enter your product key here, if you have one, or continue with I don't have a product key. Now select the version of Windows for which your product key is or you want to install. On this window, you can read the license terms and then continue. We have reached the most important part of the installation, where we need to specify where to install Windows. The most important thing here is not to accidentally delete the partition with the installation files, which in my case is labeled win_install and is the last one on the disk. Delete all other partitions and you will only get unallocated space. When you are ready, select the unallocated space and continue with Next. On the next window, click Install and the installation will begin. Overall, after completing this process, you will have Windows installed on your computer. You will then need to complete the post-installation process. I won't show the post-installation in real time because it's a really long process with multiple reboots, updates, and additional settings, so in the following footage you'll see the entire process, but at many of the stages the video footage will be sped up. After the actual Windows installation that just finished, the computer will restart automatically. So far everything has happened automatically, but now we have reached the point where you must first select your country or region. Now you can add another keyboard layout, as I will do by adding a Bulgarian keyboard layout. Now enter the name you want for your computer. Here, select the purpose for which you will use the computer. In the next few minutes you must wait for more updates and settings to be downloaded and installed. We have reached the point where you must log into your Microsoft account, and if you do not have one, use the option to create one. Enter the PIN with which you will log into Windows. Now select your privacy preferences. If you have any backups in OneDrive of the account you are using, they will be restored to your computer. There are still a few annoying settings with Microsoft suggestions, which of course you can accept or decline. This is the time to express my opinion that this is the most annoying Windows installer. I like Windows despite everything, but the increasing intrusion of applications and features in the installer disappoints me. But anyway, this is my opinion, and let's continue with a very important part of this video. Now that I have Windows 11 on my computer, I want to show you how to organize your disk the right way. To do this, I will download the Mini Tool Partition Wizard application, which I have been using for a long time. After downloading Mini Tool Partition Wizard, you need to install it. The process is easy and you just have to follow it. Please excuse the resolution change and the momentary interruptions, but Windows was automatically updating the drivers while I was filming this process. So I had to fix the resolution. What you need to do after installing and running Mini Tool Partition Wizard. I want to remove the partition with the Windows installation files and then add this space to drive C. To do this, I will first delete this partition. Next, I need to move the Windows recovery partition to the end of the disk. It is very important to be careful and not to enlarge or shrink the Windows recovery partition. Just drag it to the end of the disk and then apply the changes. Now you will see a bug in Mini Tool Partition Wizard. After applying the changes, it did not recognize partitions on the disk. If this happens to you too, don't worry because this is not true. When the changes are applied, the free space is right after drive C and I can add it to it. However, I will not use Mini Tool Partition Wizard for this, but Windows Disk Manager. The reason for this is that if I use Mini Tool Partition Wizard, I will have to restart the computer, while with Windows Disk Manager this happens instantly. In Windows Disk Manager, right-click on the C partition and select Extend Volume. On the next Windows, continue without changing anything and finish the process. And that's all. Now there is no trace of Ubuntu Linux on my computer and I did this without using a USB device. I wish you the whole process to go smoothly as it did for me. If you still don't understand something, don't hesitate to write in the comments, and if it is within my capabilities, I will try to help you. Thank you for watching and see you soon.